Alright friends, today on our menu for math we are going to focus on adding fractions by making like units numerically. We've kind of already done this both at the beginning of the year and at the beginning of this week in adding subtracting fractions 1, but we're really going to hit the making like units numerically this time around. As always, please make sure that you're pausing and rewinding as you need, so that way you can have appropriate understanding and have enough time to work out the problems. I'm obviously not giving you enough time to work out the problems in the video, because I am expecting you to pause and give yourself that time to come back when we debrief. So of course, she's something right on and right with. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at one that we've actually done before. Previously, we really relied on our area models to help us. Now we really just want to think about how to do it numerically. Okay, so I have 1/2 plus 2/5. Automatically, I see that I have unlike denominators. I need to go ahead and rename them as a similar denominator, so that way I can go ahead and solve this. To find a similar denominator, I need to find the multiple that they have in common. How am I going to do this? Well, let's think about our multiples of 2. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Let's think about my multiples of 5, 10, 15, 20. Which one do they have in common? Oh, wow, here it is, 10. They both have 10 in common. So we're going to go ahead and work on renaming 1/2 as tenths, and we're going to go ahead and work on renaming 2/5 as tenths. How are we going to do that? Well, again, we've already done this before. I'm going to go ahead and multiply using that identity property. How do I get from 2 to 10? I go by times 5. Whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top, just like last year, because again, we're working with that identity property of multiplication. As long as I am multiplying by a version of 1, 5/5 is the same as 1, so as a version of 1, my value does not change. 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 1 is 4. 1,672 times 1 is 1,672. 1/2 times 1 is still 1/2, but now I'm just representing it as 5/10. 5/10 is the same as 1/2. Let's go ahead and do the same for my 2/5. I'm going to go ahead and multiply it by 2/2, and I get 4/10. Alright, so let's go ahead and add them now. So I have my 1/2, which is the same as 5/10, plus my 2/5, which is the same as 4/10. Add those together. It is 9/10. I want you to go ahead and do the same process again, this time with 1/2 plus 2/3. Go ahead and pause and work that one out, and then we'll come back and debrief. Alright, so we saw that they were uncommon denominators. We need to make them common denominators. What is a multiple that both 2 and 3 have in common? Well, it's 6, because I can go 2, 4, 6, 3, 6, 9, 12. Alright, so let's go ahead and get these into 6. Let's go ahead and rename them into 6. So to do that, I'm going to have to cut each of my halves into 3 pieces. 3/3 is the same as 1 whole. So I know I'm not changing my value. I'm just changing the representation. I'm going to go ahead and do kind of the opposite of that, this time multiplying by 2/2, because 3 times 2 is 6, 2 times 2 is 4, so I know that 2/3 is the same as 4/6. Alright, so let's rewrite this. So now I have 3, 6 plus 4, 6. 3 plus 4 is 7. My unit is 6. I can also rewrite it as 1 and 1/6, because 7/6 is an improper fraction. Alright, let's look at one more before I give you 2 last practice ones to do. Let's say I had 5/9 plus 5/6. Now, we absolutely could do 9 times 6, and we'd get a common denominator of 54. But that's awfully large, just awfully a large number of pieces, and we're going to have to simplify. So again, let's use those multiples to help us. Multiples of 9, 18, 27, 36. I could keep on going if I need to. Multiples of 6, 12, 18, 24. Which one do they have in common? 18. They have 18 in common. So now let's think about how are we going to alter these, right? How are we going to rename them? All right, so I have 5/9. I'm trying to get into 18ths. 9 times what gives me 18? Well, that gives me 2. Whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. So again, I need to have that identity property, just like in my area model when I'm cutting all of my pieces, my total pieces, and the pieces colored in, into these new partitions. Alright, so I have 5 times 2, so I know that 5/9 is the same as 10/18. Let's repeat that with 5/6, 6 times what is going to give me 18? Well, I know that's going to be 3. So 5/6 is the same as 15/18. All right, so I'll go ahead and add them up. 10/18 plus 15/18, well 10 plus 15 is 25. My unit is 18ths. That means I'm going to go ahead and have 1 and 7/18. So I can pull out the whole 18/18 and I have 7 left over. All right, let's go ahead and do one last bit of practice before you move on to your problem set. Here are the 2 problems that I want you to go ahead and solve, and then we'll debrief. The first one is 2/6 plus 3/8. And then the last one, do not let this one trick you. It is 3 atoms, but you're solving it just the same. Is 2/3 plus 1/4 plus 1/2. Go ahead and pause and work these out, and then come back when you're ready to debrief. All right, for that first one, the lowest common multiple is 24, so I can go 6, 12, 18, 24, and then 8, 16, 24. I'm going to go ahead and multiply to get my new representations. I can then rewrite it with my renamed fractions. 8/24 plus 9/24. That's going to give me 17/24. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Okay, so as I count up those 3, 4, and 2, I see that my common multiple will be 12. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I've used my identity property to rename all of my values as 12s. Means when I go ahead and rewrite these with my renamed fractions, 2/3 is the same as 8/12, 1/4 is the same as 3/12, and 1/2 is the same as 6/12. 8 plus 3 is 11, plus 6 is 17, and I'm working with 12. Again, let's pull out that whole, which would be 12/12, which means I have 5 left over, since 5 plus 12 equals 17. Alright friends, go ahead and make sure that you have gained appropriate understanding from this. Reach out to me as you need, and then go ahead and progress to your problem set and exit ticket when you're ready.